Hey, what up, boxing fans? This is the Rope a Dope Report. I'm your host, Chris Carlson. I'm back with another prediction video. This one here for the Shawn Porter versus Andre Berto fight. I think it's a good TV fight. It's not something that I'm just, anticipating crazy, but I think it is. It serves its purpose. Obviously, a while ago now, the WBC made it a title eliminator for Keith Thurman's belt, which a lot of people want to see that rematch. Plenty of people thought Porter beat Thurman. And I just got to say, I'm not the type of guy or one of these channels out here that just rips one side of it all. Anti HBO, anti Aram, anti PBC, anti, right? And pro this guy or that team or whatever. But, I like to call it fight by fight, fighter by fighter, event by event, and just judge it like that. And so when I'm talking about Shawn Porter, I think Al Heyman's really dropped the ball on him. Here's a guy that is growing in popularity. He had a big fight. I don't think he totally screwed him, if you're being honest, because in 2015 he fought Broner. In 2016 he fought Thurman, so he hasn't screwed him. It's just this particular timing here really sucks for him, and I think Heyman dropped the ball on this one, man, because right after the fight he's he's ready to go in September. Now I know there was a slowdown in the fall schedule and whatnot, but get him on a spike card or something. You know what I mean? And I know there was. It's not all Heyman, just like it's not all some of these all promoters and managers or whatever, right? Advisors, because the fighters have to fight. And sure, some fighters did turn down a fight with Porter, but from what it sounds like, there was a potential for many guys to fight Spence, but Spence didn't even have a belt yet. So I can understand not fighting Spence without a belt, right? I totally get that. And I don't know if he was offered that fight or not, but it just sucks that the last time he fought was late June, okay? So that really sucks. But anyway, as far as the fight, like I said, I think it's a good stylistic fight. Berto, on the other hand, he's been out for a year too, but he's at a stage where he's a little bit more picky. It's not like you kept hearing. He actually turned down some fights too, but it's not like you're hearing him just calling for all these fights all last year and to get back in the ring. He was more just patiently waiting. Like I said, he's not really on the up and up, even though he's won 2 out of his last 3 fights or whatever. Whereas Porter, his popularity, he's still in his prime. He's on the up. So that long layoff when you want to get right back does suck. But as far as the fight goes, stylistically, it should be a fun fight to watch, right? Like I said, I'm not anticipating this overly, but I do think that it's kind of like a bell ringer. Once the bell rings, I'm going to be all eyes on it. So it's a good fight. Obviously, Berto is a guy that doesn't back down, and we know Porter doesn't either. I wouldn't doubt if it's a little bit more conservative start for both guys, especially Porter. But then at some point, both these guys, they want to throw both. You know what I mean? They want to get it in. Let's be honest. Both these guys do. In the end, it should be a fun fight. There could be some sloppy moments, but I think it'll be a fun, entertaining fight. I wouldn't doubt to see both of these guys on the canvas. That wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't doubt if we see that. Obviously, neither of them are great at defense. Porter, obviously, sometimes he's quick-footed. He can get to you, but sometimes he gets too close to you and smothers his own work rather than smothering his opponent's work, right? But when you attack Berto, that's usually not a good look for him. And let's be honest, I thought he was losing that Victor Ortiz fight before the uppercut. And speaking of the uppercut, that's a big punch right there for Berto. And Porter is definitely open usually all day, 24/7 foreign uppercut. So it's a fun fight. It kind of serves its purpose. Like I said, it's a good TV fight. It gets a guy the rust off, right? And it prepares them for something hopefully later this year, which would put them in mandatory status for Thurman's belt. So anyway, I think at the end of the day, though, Porter's a little fresher. Like I said, he's still on the up and up. And that fresher in the pressure, right? That's the two keys for Porter. I just don't think Berto can handle that pressure. If he couldn't handle it from Guerrero and some others, I don't think he'll handle it from Porter. So I think potentially, like I said, though, both guys may get hurt. Porter could win this fight cleanly and get hurt or dropped. That's just his style sometimes. So I'm going to go with Porter by a unanimous decision, but a fun fight. Anyway, if you like what you're seeing or hearing, you're not really seeing much. Hit the notification button. Otherwise, check out the Rope-A-Dope Radio podcast as well on Blog Talk, iTunes, Player FM, Stitcher, TuneIn, yada, yada, yada. Peace.